Hey everybody, before we get this review started, please don't forget to hit like and subscribe. I would really like to get this channel growing, and if you have any comments to help me get better, I appreciate it. So let's talk about a movie that had a really good box office weekend, and we'll also talk about my thoughts on the film. Dune 2. This movie picks up where the previous film left off. Paul Atreides unites with the Freeman and tries to seek revenge against the evil Empire. I'm just going to get into my opinion right away. Dune 2, just like the previous movie, has the formula for a summer blockbuster movie. Visually, this movie is so appealing to the eyes. You could see the budget on the screen, and I mean that in a positive way. As good as the special effects are in this movie, what really sold it for me was the on-location filming because it is so pleasing to the eyes. The movie isn't oversaturated with bad green screens or bad CGI. A lot of the special effects are done practical. And to me, it's a really good balance of both because they actually seem to be complementing each other. And for me, when things don't look fake or overly cartoony with CGI, it actually makes the stakes higher. The film has interesting side characters, and we also have a new threat in this film. Austin Butler's in the film, and he's portraying one of the main threats, Fayed Rafa. I'm sorry, but every time they say the name Fayed Rafa, all I heard was this. So, really quick before I go any further, this review might have some mild spoilers, so if you haven't seen the movie, be warned, come back later. But yeah, one of the main selling points for this movie / newest villain doesn't really make an appearance until maybe halfway through the film, but I will say he steals the show. And if you listen closely, Austin Butler's accent almost feels like an impression of his co-star, Stellan Skarsgård. Javier Bardem is another favorite character of mine that's in this film because his character really sells the prophecy portion of the film. Oh my god, I almost forgot that Christopher Walken was in this movie.
Good to see you.
And even though Christopher Walken has a small part, he's still bringing something to this movie. All the side characters really brought something to this movie. They brought depth, they brought charisma, and they made it really engaging to watch. Which brings me to the only negatives I have about this movie. Well, for me, it was our main characters.
Got a personality like a dead moth.
As an audience, we have seen so many movies about chosen ones. Star Wars, Luke and Leia, Han Solo, The Matrix, Neo, Trinity, Morpheus. Hell, even Lone Star from the movie Spaceballs had more personality. All those characters that I mentioned all had something. They all had charisma. You wanted to go on the journey with them. You want to see their story get finished. They all had personality, but these two?
You don't have it.
There was a point during the film where I was rooting for the villain or even hoping that one of the side characters would come back to the screen. When these other characters were on screen, the movie actually felt like it was coming back to life.
It's alive!
Even the director himself admitted he's not really into dialogue because he's more of a visual storyteller. Which is fine and dandy. I really don't have any problem with that because majority of the cast have really good charisma and they bring something to the film. And if your main characters are
Boring.
like I told you before, spoiler, you've been warned. You bring in a great villain that's kind of selling the movie, and you kind of pull a Darth Maul. I never read the Dune book, so I don't know how close this movie is to the book, but I thought that was a big mistake. Even though I had those issues with the film, it's still a really good movie. And man, it is good and so refreshing to see a film in this genre be more adult-oriented. There's no silly or goofiness or plush characters to sell toys. There's no hidden agendas. It's just a good movie. And there was a time when I was growing up when we had films like this every summer. I do think a tide is turning and audiences are starting to wake up. My rating for Dune 2, it is worth seeing on the big screen, absolutely. Alright, so hopefully my review wasn't too long or too boring and hopefully you got some entertainment out of it. And hopefully my honest criticisms were well received and well spoken. Alright, did you see Dune 2? Did you enjoy it? Did you like it more than I did? Did you think the movie was perfect or did you have some of the same problems I did? Please comment below. I'm Mike the Movie Misfit and I'll see you at the movies.
Get more out of life. Go out to a movie.